What's going on, ladies and gentlemen and ladies? It's the first time in your life you're going to hear me not yell, and that's because I kind of lost my voice, but we're going to push through it. Tucker Carlson with his warmongering. We got to talk about him finding Willis in court acting like a ghetto bird. The Target lady finally speaks out. She had a GoFundMe that was incredible. I'm so glad that somebody blessed her because that lady was a nut who was talking crazy to her. And this lawyer getting kicked out of a bar is the most insane thing I've ever seen. But before we get to any of that, we need to talk about a few updates on the Brown shooting. Welcome to the Officer Tatum Show.
If you don't believe that we are in a fight today, you're sleeping under a rock. If you get hit and you lay down and you cry and you fold up in the corner, definitely you will not win the fight. We show up to win. Our culture needs a lot of you young people in here to step up and stand out. There is nothing or no principality, power, division, devil can stop us when we're united. They can only get you when you're divided. When I see the American flag, I see us progressing to something that can be awesome and great. And if you don't plan on winning then, you might as well go on today.
Ladies and gentlemen, ladies, welcome back to the Officer Tatum Show. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. Make sure you go on and subscribe to the Officer Tatum Show, also the Substack. And for many of you guys, I post exclusive content on Freedom Chat. So if you're part of the Freedom Chat show, get on Freedom Chat, check it out. Now let's start with the Brown shooting. I'm still incredibly perplexed that they have not found the shooter in this case. This wasn't complicated. A person goes on campus, shoots people, flees. This wasn't a trained assassin. This wasn't anything of the nature. And now that they found shell casings or live ammunition, there's a potential that they can get this gentleman or this person that's involved and they can find their DNA and prosecute him. But I do find it weird at the way they're handling this. And I try not to be a hypocrite because I felt like that the FBI, generally speaking, handled Charlie Kirk's situation properly. You know, some of those things that they put out, the things that they didn't put out, in my personal opinion, were things that they couldn't put out. When it comes to this scenario, I feel like there's things that they can put out, but they're refusing to put out for political reasons. They are saying this was a targeted incident. How do you know it's targeted? You have to have some investigatory information to lead you to believe that it's targeted. Also, the person yelled something before they ever did anything. They yelled something. Why won't they disclose what they yelled? In my personal opinion, they don't want to do it because they know it has some connection to probably an anti-Jewish thing, some terrorist attack type thing, something of that nature that I think that will embarrass the narrative that they've been holding on to. That's just my opinion. I could be totally wrong. We shall find out when they finish the investigation. But let's play a couple clips for you guys of the line round recovered the news clip. I want to play that news clip so you can see exactly what they were referring to. I wrote a clip.
The information about the DNA is widely out. The fact that the task force is working some DNA, there's some reporting that it's from shell casings found at the scene. What I can tell you from my sourcing is that I think quite significantly they have live rounds. That is, rounds that were not fired, undetonated rounds. Why does that matter? Because shell casings have enclosed a detonation. That's how bullets work, which means they often destroy evidence and they're scorched. In the case of live rounds, think about what happens there on a 9mm automatic. The perpetrator has to fat finger those rounds, bullets, into a magazine, which is the sleeve that holds them, and that gets put into the handle of the gun. That's how a semi-automatic works. So you have a perpetrator handling rounds that have not been exploded that are found at the scene. It's the same thing we saw, if you recall, in Luigi Mangione. When the gun jammed, he also had a semi-automatic. He had to rack the slide to try to get it to work and clear the jam. He did, but that ejects the live rounds. Live rounds at this scene, I think, is a hopeful sign for getting usable DNA, even if he's not in the database. Remember, they can use that familial DNA technique that we saw in the Koberger case. It gets to a cousin or something, you work back from there. So I think that's a positive sign for the investigation, and I can tell you they're scraping very hard at it.
Well, let's talk about that for a minute. Well, we have to talk about that. I think that there is a great potential that there could be DNA. I think there's great potential that there could be DNA on the rounds. I don't think that that's out of the ordinary. However, I'm just going to give you guys a caveat so you don't get your hopes up. If a person is wearing gloves and they were meticulous about the rounds, which means that they ordered the rounds, they took the rounds in, put gloves on, load the rounds into the gun, fired the rounds, misfired, whatever, they ejected them, whatever way they did it, and they didn't get any fingerprints on it. That's one reality that could be the case. The other reality could be very well that the person was stupid, which they're stupid enough to shoot people in the first place, but stupid enough to think, I'm going to wear gloves when I do the shooting, but they didn't think about wearing gloves when they had to load the rounds in, because it is annoying. And I was on the SWAT team and we had gloves on. It is not that easy to load the rounds, or it's not as easy to load the rounds into the rifle, to the magazine when you got gloves on. It's easier to take a glove out and load them in like this, or get a loader, which I think you kind of gay if you have a loader anyway. Like, you better just thumb them rounds in there, or I'm going to question your manhood. But regardless of that, so there could be a possibility there could be DNA evidence on there. I'm hopeful that there is DNA evidence. We got a couple other clips that I want to show you guys. Let's go with clip 802. Is the shooter exiting? The shooter exit had no cameras. Roll the clip.
Gunman, primary person of interest, the suspect, came out of that entrance or exit and started walking this way and passing this dumpster. If you just look around this parking lot to show everybody, there are no cameras that we can see out here, right outside of the Barris and Hawley building. You can see there are no cameras that we see visible to the eye. So that is something that has been a big sticking point in this investigation.
Why wouldn't you put cameras on the perimeter of campus so you can see who's coming onto campus and who's coming off? That's security 101.
So that was a shortened clip. I think the clip was cut off prematurely, but there was a rational reason. I don't think it was a good reason, meaning that shouldn't have happened, but there's a reason why there were potential cameras on the building, but not on every aspect of the building. And the official explains it, I believe, in the second clip, where out of all the stuff that they're saying, this made the most sense. People have to be rational about this. You know, I know it's inflammatory. Some of the things that they say can pee you off. But at the end of the day, I really do believe that it is invaluable to think these things through, because there was a modern building add-on to the older building. There were cameras on the modern side, but there weren't many cameras on the antiquated side, which makes sense. It happens all the time. But it is, in my opinion, a lack of due diligence from the university to have cameras that are functional, even if it's an older building. Because when stuff like this happen, what you gonna do? Now you don't have no evidence. When y'all got enough money to put this stuff together like you're supposed to. Let's roll the clip 803.
The camera in that building that Brown put up because the sanctuary city law that we have, you don't want to record illegal immigrants, and you don't want to provide the footage to the FBI or immigration authority. One camera in that building, it come out from your detectives, they are friends of mine, they're angry at this investigation that these people in Brown University put the camera off, they can identify that person. You imagine how the family want to go through? Tell the truth to the media here.
We heard from both the Brown police chief and the provost at Brown, who have shared that they have been fully cooperative and been forthcoming with all data and evidence that they have. The City of Providence's experience is the same, which is that Brown has been entirely cooperative and collaborative and fully sharing with us. We will be back here tomorrow once again if you are not on the press list.
Yeah, that wasn't the clip I thought it was, but we don't need the clip. I explained it already. In the clip, the police chief mentioned that there was a reason why that there was no cameras on some of these buildings, which makes sense. Let's get to the next clip, 804.
News alert, Providence police just moments ago releasing this photo here on your screen. We'll pop it up, of a second man they say was in the proximity of the person of interest in the Brown University shooting, meaning the videos we've been showing on your screen of the alleged perp that has been walking around, this person was seen in that one's vicinity. So they are asking for the public's help identifying who this person is on your screen and urging anyone with information to please call the tip line. And remember, no tip, no thought, no anything that you have is too small to be of potential value to the FBI and to those undergoing this investigation. Thank you.
Let's get to the clip that we have of the actual suspect. Nick put together this. I think he was telling me that he put together a clip where you have a potential suspect, and you have kind of his cadence, the way he walks, the way he is doing things. He's an activist, and he's. I think they believe he's a suspect. I don't think they have officially announced that he is, but 2 and 2 look like 4 in many cases. So let's play the clip that we have structured where we can kind of see this guy side by side, because you can see the way this guy looks, his build, the way he walks in comparison to the person that they think could be a possible suspect. Roll the clip. Y'all, look at the way he walk. Look at the way that penguin walking. Walking stomach first. It look like the same guy.
This suspension is a clear.
Same build, similar jacket. Walking with his stomach first. I'm not saying that it is, but it looked like it. But the question is this another reason why they're not being as forthcoming as I think that they could? Is because it alludes to activists, potential terrorists, and the same people that we've been saying have been violent on campuses that they should have been paying attention to. And it makes me wonder, it's like, do they know who these people that potentially did it? They don't want you to know because it implicates them, because they may have had signs and symptoms. They let this kid protest on campus talking about free Palestine, all this other stuff, and then what does he do? He goes shoot up a place where you got a young Republican leader there and some other people. I heard, it was on social media. I don't know if it's verified, but I heard that the teacher was like a Jewish teacher and she had a class or something like that where it could have been a connection in that way. The person was on Brown's website, but has now been scrubbed according to what my guys looked up. Is there a video? Do we have video footage of the scrubbing? All right, roll it.
I believe some web pages for students or faculty have been taken down. Is that a response to any external threats to anyone in the community?
We have been working very closely with law enforcement to provide them with all of the internal to Brown information that they need to do this investigation. It's their investigation. They're the professionals. So we're providing information. We're not in the job of reviewing it for them. I know nothing about web pages being taken down as part of this. It's the first I've heard of it.
In the back.
It's the first time they addressed that, but you go look at it right here, and I think this is an example of where you go to search for it, and it no longer exists. So allegedly, that kid, see, here we go. That kid was previously on that website, and now all of a sudden it doesn't exist. And it's the same guy who we saw protesting, who we saw with the kafifa, or whatever you call that stupid thing they wear around their head and neck. The same guy. It makes me wonder, was it a staff member? And they know it's a staff member, and they're trying to cover the trail. I don't know, man. It's very weird and suspicious because these leftist universities are known for this stuff. They're known for it. And before we jump to the next topic, because I want to tell you guys about Fonnie Willis and also Tucker Carlson being wrong as 3 left shoes on a 2-legged man, I want to bring up our Ground Out News because as I've only been able to tell you guys just a small portion. Maybe I should spend an hour on this topic, but I want to get to some other topics. So if you want to have more information and be up to date on what's going on at the Brown University situation, you can go to Ground Out News and you can find out what people are saying about it from every angle, from the left, from the center, from the right. You could even go over here and you can match up Brown University or Providence, Rhode Island, if you want to have a specific search where you can follow all things Providence. And so here's where it's at, Ground Out News. And you also know if you're getting biased content or not. You can say it's from the left, you know how that go. From the right, you know how that go. When it's center, you know how that might go. So this is the best place to check out concrete news, You know exactly where your news is coming from, and you get it aggregated. For everybody that's reporting on it, you get it all in one place. Ground.news/Tatum. Go to ground.news/Tatum. I think we can give you 40% off if you guys join the Vantage plan, which is the unlimited plan that I use. So go to ground.news. I think we got the link in the description section. I want to get to Tucker. AmFest is like on Saturday. I don't have a voice right now. I'm fighting through it because I want you guys to be informed. I may have to slow down here in a minute so I don't completely lose my voice before AmFest. But Tucker Carlson is speaking at AmFest, and I have every intent to blast all the stuff that he's been doing. Now, I'm not going to yell his name out and be disrespectful, but the idea of Tucker Carlson and the things that he say, I'm going to blast on my speech, potentially, unless God tell me to do something different the day of. But here he go again, fearmongering. These same people that told y'all we going to war with Iran, like who's the warmongers now? Who's the warmongers? Somebody let me know who's the warmongers. They claim that we're the warmongers trying to get in the war, and they're spending a lot of their time on their platforms lying about it. This dude just said we're gonna get in the war. His sources tell him Trump is gonna announce that we're going to war with Venezuela. Well, look, we might go to war with Venezuela, but your sources are wrong. Clearly, let's play the clip of Tucker Carlson talking about it. Roll it.
Is Trump going to start a war in Venezuela?
I don't know. I don't know when this program airs. The one that we're on right now. This thing's maybe live.
We're live now, and then
okay.
It'll be posted immediately. So
so my sense is, I don't know the answer. I've certainly been on the phone a lot about it. I have no power. I'm a podcaster, but I'm very interested. And so here's what I know so far, which is that members of Congress were briefed yesterday that a war is coming, and it'll be announced in the address to the nation tonight at 9 o'clock by the president. Who knows, by the way, if that will actually happen? I don't know. And I never want to overstate what I know, which is pretty limited in general.
He is the dumbest person online right now. I can't stand Tucker. I can't stand him anymore. I used to love him. Why does he talk like this? Why does he say things like this? Play the clip back. I want you to, not the other guy, but play Tucker's. I want you to see the level of gaslighting that he does on a day-to-day basis. I don't have any power. I'm just a podcaster. You were just in Qatar talking to the leadership in Qatar. You got so much money you could buy property in a foreign country. Oh, the day you were there. I'm going tomorrow. I'm buying property. And you know it's not like $400,000 house. I bet he's buying a multi-million-dollar house in Qatar. You don't have no power. You got the top podcast in the country. You on television forever. You say go, people go. You can have anybody in the world on your show. Why say something so stupid? And at the very end of what he said, he go, well, this is limited to what I know because, I don't know much. Are you really saying you don't know much? Then why do you have a podcast? Why are you even opening your mouth to start with if you don't know much? That's not how he really feels. That's how he gaslights you. Play the clip of what he said.
Is Trump going to start a war in Venezuela?
I don't know. I don't know when this program airs. The one that we're on right now. This thing's maybe live.
We're live now, and then
okay.
It'll be posted immediately. So
so
now,
my sense is, I don't know the answer. I've certainly been on the phone a lot about it. I have no power. I'm a podcaster, but I'm very interested. And so here's what I know so far, which is that members of Congress were briefed yesterday that a war is coming, and it'll be announced in the address to the nation tonight at 9 o'clock by the president. Who knows, by the way, if that will actually happen? I don't know. And I never want to overstate what I know, which is pretty limited in general.
If somehow somebody in Congress told him this, he shouldn't be mentioning it. You understand? He shouldn't be mentioning it because that means that whoever told him this so he could keep it a secret. If Donald Trump is waiting to announce war, he don't want the enemy to know what he's doing. He don't want the news media to know what he's doing, so he waits to do a press conference. And if somebody in Congress told you that, you need to shut up and let Donald Trump do what he has to do. I got birdies too, right? And people were telling me different things. And I'm not disclosing what they told me before it happened. Well, why would you disclose that? And then also, obviously, it wasn't right. Donald Trump could have changed his mind. We clearly are going to go to war with Venezuela at some point. I see it, but I just don't like the fact that Tucker, I felt like with him saying, I don't know if this is going to happen, you should have just not said anything. If you don't feel confident that the people that are telling you this are telling you exactly what's going to happen, why mention it at all? It's because they want to frame Donald Trump as a warmonger. They were wrong about Iran, and they're also wrong about this Venezuela thing. They have no idea what's going on, and they can't admit it. And you guys saw the clip yesterday. I got it on my page, so we don't have to rehash that. Trump made some significant announcements about everything else but going to war. And there's another clip that I want to play, and then we're going to talk about it right after the clip. Roll the clip.
Well, apparently we're not going to war with Venezuela. My sources were wrong. I just wanted to share how it is that I got the information, if you allow me. Last night I had a dream. President Maduro came to me in the dream and he said, Tucker, El Presidente Trump is declaring el war on Venezuela. I need your help, Tucker. The dream was so real that I had to check if it was true or not. So I called Candace Owens. She said that all dreams are totally credible sources of information. That's where she gets all her information from. So now I know we're definitely going to war with Venezuela. I had to check with a government source one last time before I leaked this totally credible information. So I called Marjorie Taylor Greene, and she said, Tucker, you go ahead and leak that information. I also had a dream about it. So that's basically what happened.
Now, you know, when I first saw that, I said, when I first listened to it at the beginning, I said, Tucker is finally admitting that he's full of crap. Then I realized once he brought up Candace, once he brought up Marjorie Taylor Greene, and I heard the sarcasm, I said, this has got to be AI. There's no way Tucker has the fortitude to admit that he's wrong in a way like this. In no way he did it. And then when he started bringing up dreams, I said, he ain't Martin Luther King, so I doubt he talking about having a dream about something. But you know how scary that is? You guys probably thought it was real. I thought it was real when I first saw it. Then I said, ain't no way he said this. It's got to be AI. So I'm going to do one last story because I'm really losing my voice. I want to give you guys an update on the Target lady. I think this is important and significant. It's so sad what that lady did to the woman that working at Target. The woman just wearing a red Target-approved shirt. And they got other people wearing LGBTQ and all kind of gay stuff on their shirts, and that's not a problem. They got little thongs and penis tucks for kids in the aisles, and this lady mad at a woman for wearing a Charlie Kirk shirt that says freedom on the front. But she not worried about the young kids they got where they could tuck their balls up when they go to the beach to try to be little girls. And you ain't got no problem with that. I promise, I'm telling y'all this, if I was in there, and me and my wife was in there, I'd have let my wife slap that lady. And I'd have let it be that. I'd have bailed her out of jail. She'll do a night in there. I got the bail money. If somebody was talking to my mother-in-law or my mama like that, I will slap you if you talk to my family like that. You disrespect my mama like that because she wearing a Charlie Kirk shirt, I will slap you in that store. I just want the world to know that. Y'all pray for me if you don't like what I said. Pray for me. God is still working on me. You ever disrespect somebody like that in front of me, especially if it's a woman, I'll let my wife slap the lady. But there's no way that I won't yell at you and confront you over this. That woman minding her own business. Charlie wasn't a racist unless you're a complete crackhead that think Charlie's a racist. Yeah, before we get to her response, I want to make sure I give you context because if you guys haven't seen this clip, you don't know what happened. Here's what happened. Roll the clip.
Why?
They let you wear that shirt here?
Yes.
So
Why? Why are you taking my picture?
why are you wearing that shirt? You're working. It's not a Target
red
shirt.
I can wear any red shirt.
It's not a plain shirt.
It doesn't have to be
It's a Charlie Kirk shirt.
Yes. Yes, I know.
Are you stupid?
No.
Why the would you wear that? You're at work at Target. That's not a Target shirt. It's not a plain red shirt. You support a racist.
I don't know if it's my childhood or something. When she said when she said that, it triggered me. Out of everything she said, it wasn't even the Charlie Kirk thing. When she said, what the make you wear this shirt, it bothered me. I don't know what it is. When people talk like that, it triggered me. And that's what made me mad. Please don't ever talk to nobody I know or talk to somebody like this in the store while I'm there, especially an older lady like this lady. Continue the clip.
It's not racist.
You support a racist.
He's not a racist.
Yes, he is.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
I'm sorry, but I'm not going to stand here and argue with you.
You're not. You should go get your manager. You should not be allowed to wear that at work. Unacceptable. Unacceptable.
That's your opinion.
No, the opinion is he's a racist and you support him.
That's your opinion, ma'am.
And you should not be allowed to wear that. This is going to be taken above your head. That's insane. Insane.
Have a nice day.
Insane.
See the difference? Y'all see the difference between the crackhead that's berating people because they don't like a shirt versus the woman who's getting berated and she's being very calm and nice. Look, if you get yourself in a situation like this, just talk to the manager. Why you got to berate the woman and treat her like that? I put my life on it that if I was a worker at Target, that lady would have never said anything to me. She would never say, she picking on that older lady. But here's her response. Roll the clip.
I know people are calling for her to be fired for this. Do you think that that's right? Would you like that to happen?
No, I don't think that's right. Like, one saying I have is, two wrongs don't make a right. You know, she wronged me, but I don't want to wrong her, or I don't want her wrong because it's not going to make it right. I mean, that was her opinion. But she's the one that put it on Facebook or put it on that. So, you know, but I really wouldn't want to see somebody lose their job over it.
Hold up, Grandma. Y'all know what I think? Nobody's talking about this. Put Grandma back on the screen. I think her grandchildren are leftists, and they put that nutcracker with a trans flag in the corner because they knew she was going on the interview, and they threw it up there to try to make her look bad. Because I can't imagine a Trump supporter that think that makes sense to have a trans flag on a nutcracker. So I don't know. I would argue that maybe somebody pranked her and put the little stuff on there. I think we had another picture of two guys or something. But let's look at her GoFundMe. God dang. She had $226,000. You know what's funny? Is that lady talk about, this gonna go over your head. This woman made more in this GoFundMe than she would have made in 15 years working at Target. Good for her. Good for her. For you cowards out there treating people poorly, I hope they just continue to get rich. She had no business. I hope they fire that lady. You have no business berating somebody like that. Berating the lady. You could have just went to the manager and said, hey, I think she's out of dress code. You don't berate that woman like that. Now, I hope she lose her job. That's what she deserved. And this lady make more money in a GoFundMe than that lady made in the whole year. That, to me, is justice. All right, y'all come in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Make sure you go and subscribe to everything. And I want to give a shout-out to Blackline. Nick Shirley. I know you guys know who Nick Shirley is. Blackline protected him over the weekend when he was in Minnesota making content. So I just want to give him a shout-out. And obviously, Blackline Guardian, which is our nonprofit, supported 2/3 of his security. So I'm telling you guys, I made this for young people like him, that he could have security and protection And even if he can't afford the full team of security every single time he go out, that's why we create the Guardian Fund. Now, 3 things or a few things I'm gonna lay out for you. You could go to blacklinessecurityops.com if you need executive protection. We protect executives, we protect politicians, we protect anybody that needs protection. It could be you, it could be your family, it could be just protecting the family member when they travel. We have a potential client that we've been talking to recently, and they have a daughter that's in college, and they want to protect their daughter while she's away. We'll put a high-speed guy or off-duty police officer with her everywhere she go if necessary. And so we'll take care of all of those things. If you need a threat assessment online, if you need a threat assessment for your house, we do everything from A to Z. If you are an influencer and you need security and you can't afford the full security team, send us a message through blacklinessecurityops.com. Just send us a message. We'll call you, we'll coordinate it with you, and we'll try to do our best to fund your security if you cannot fund the whole thing. At the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, I want everybody who's preaching the truth to be able to do it without the threat of getting killed. That's what they want us to do, is be fearful so we don't go out and do anything. But I be darned. We have Green Berets, we have Special Forces guys, we have Navy SEALs, we have, the highest speed people that you could imagine that's working with us. We had 60 applications just over this last week, 60. We're not even really promoting it, 60. And they're all elite. And we work with partners across the entire country and the world with elite teams that are already built. So you're going to get the best of the best when you work with Blackline. But regardless of that, if you're interested, go to the website. We'll put a link in the description section. I got to get off here, man, because I'm going to lose my voice. I got several things I have to do before I speak at AmFest. God bless you. God bless America. I'm out.
Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave. I'm a proud American from my birth to the grave. 47's the top, took a bullet for all. Didn't flinch, didn't run, still